There is fresh video of a recent street debate between Hebrew Israelite and I guess just a regular Christian brother. The Hebrew Israelite guy had cornrows in his head. He got destroyed. With Romans 4 and 5. He even had his reader to read that same scripture, and he still got caught up. It's fresh video. I don't know what city. We've been telling y'all to avoid those Hebrew Israelites. They are stupid. They don't know anything. All they want to do is gang up on the streets and go out there and cause trouble. I done had debates with them on my channel, well, in the YouTube comments and stuff. They religiously deny New Testament scriptures. They'll try to use those scriptures to their benefit, but then when they get caught up, they start denying the scriptures. I have pointed this out over and over again. In IUIC, that group have different views. Some of them believe in the New Testament, some of them don't. They would try to debate with you with the New Testament, and then when they get caught up, they start well, we don't believe in the New Testament no way. They start trying to beat up Paul. How y'all go and try to read Paul and use those scriptures, and then when you get caught up, you want to denounce the scriptures? But the New Testament was added anyway. That's what they do. This brother destroyed that guy, that Hebrew Israelite. Romans 4. The Hebrew Israelite always want to say we have to work. They always want to go back to the Old Testament. All the New Testament scriptures are saying we don't work. We don't have to do anything other than what the New Testament scriptures say. We are not bound to the laws of the Torah outside of the 10 Commandments. They want to hold to the dietary law. They want to hold to the law that forbid interracial marriage. They want to hold to all those laws. Therefore, holding to hatred. They want to denounce Christianity and make it look like a bad thing when it came out the Bible. No matter how you try to say it, Christianity just a word formed out of Christian. Ain't nothing sinful about that. Pastor Dow, a lot of them try to play on that. Ain't nothing sinful about that, saying Christianity. It's just a word that defines your belief. I'm a Christian. Christianity. This is where that came from. That brother put this scripture on that Hebrew Israelite. Romans 4 and 5. But to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justified the ungodly, talking about Jesus, his faith is counted for righteousness. He tried to debunk this scripture. He tried to debunk the scripture, but he got lost. You can tell the way he got stuck. Even his own reader, the guy read this scripture, he didn't like it. He had his own reader to read the same scripture and still try to call it a lie. He was stuck. That's all it was. He got stuck. He didn't know which way to go. I guess he was expecting for his reader to say, but to him that worketh, and skip over not. I guess that's what he was expecting for his reader to say. Then try to say, then I guess he was going to say, the Christian brother misinterpreted the Bible. But it didn't work that way. His own reader read the exact same scripture. Told y'all. I had a debate with one while back over there in John. Two different scriptures in St. John that say, no man have seen God the Father at any time. Then one scripture said, no man has seen God, but no man has seen God and lived. No man has seen God the Father at any time, but his Son. He tried to call those scriptures a lie with Exodus, where God said, I'm going to talk to Moses face to face. God said, I'm going to show myself to Moses. But then God say, I'm going to hide myself. God specifically told Moses, you cannot see my face. So he tried to take that portion of scripture to prove me to be a lie by citing those scriptures in St. John. That's what they do. They will fight scripture. They outright call scriptures lie. I had another conversation with one a while back concerning the Samaritans. In the book of Matthew, when Jesus first did say, don't go by the way of the Gentile or the Samaritan, only to the lost house of Israel. He did say that, right? But that was before the shedding of the blood. After the shedding of the blood, St. John, Jesus went to the Samaritans. I showed that guy that in that scripture, in the Bible. Don't y'all know he still rejected it? How can you reject scripture that said Jesus went to the Samaritans? He stayed there with them for about 2 days. And what did he say? His whole motive, he told his disciples what he was going to do. He had business. That's what they'll do. They will outright, clearly call the scriptures a lie. Jesus went to Samaria. No, he didn't. See, he said, don't go by the way. Yeah, he did say that. But you're not reading forward. I ain't add that to the Bible. Yes, Jesus did say, don't go by the way of the Samaritans, only to the lost house of Israel. But then there was another debate concerning the Samaritans. One brother tried to argue me down about the Samaritans being part of the tribe because their lineage was traced back to Joseph, I think it was. But the woman clearly said in that same passage that they didn't have no dealings with them. The Jews had no dealings with the Samaritans. So it's unclear exactly who the Samaritans were at that time. You go back and Google the history, everybody have opinions. Some say they was part and they were exiled thousands and thousands of years. Some say they never were. But Jesus did say in the book of Matthew, when he told them, do not go by the way of the Gentiles or to the Samaritans, but only to the lost house of Israel. He did say that. So clearly right there, That shows that the Samaritans wasn't part of the 12 tribes. I seen something that say they are distant relatives, although they relatives. They come from their lineage, but however it was, they were exiled. But scripture, Jesus clearly told his disciples to not go to the Samaritans. He went to the Samaritans after the shedding of the blood. That's what they do. They will call outright scriptures a lie. It never fails. It never fails. That's what they do. That brother out there with them cornrows, and then this other Hebrew Israelite that tried to embarrass that young male that was dressed like a girl. Avoid those clowns on the street. Avoid them. They everywhere. They in all the cities. They claim to be such men of God. Hebrew Israelites. They claim to be so powerful. They bout it. But I guarantee you, if they witness a murder, they witness a crime, you think they gonna stand up and say something? You think they gonna take the law into their own hands? They claim to be Hebrew Israelites like of the old, right? That's what they claim. I obey God's law, not man's law. God's law said, back in the Old Testament, God's law was swift and cruel. They had to get rid of evil. They had to in order to get rid of evil, they had to delete evil. So you gonna tell me they out there deleting evil? Well, this is what they result. Well, we only do what we can. So how in the world y'all not bound to the laws of the land on one hand, but on the other hand, you are bound to the law of the land? It don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense. That's what they do though. They go out there on the streets and try to embarrass folks, attack churches, want to have debates, but they shoot themselves in the foot every time. Just because they got a bunch of folks, they read loud and talking loud, that don't mean nothing. This brother in this latest video is showing us directly how foolish they are. That brother, them cornrow, his own partner was even looking upside his head like, what the hell are you talking about? Probably got a rap sheet, criminal list rap sheet, long as my truck. That's what they do. They go out there and throw stones at people, mess with folks. Y'all going to hell for not obeying the dietary law. Y'all going to hell for working on the Sunday. They have no biblical understanding. They still telling people they're going to hell for working on the Sabbath when Jesus. That's another debate. You showing them what Jesus went through the field working on the Sabbath. They call that a lie. Jesus is the Sabbath. How God gonna punish us for working when the law said we have to work and God ordained work? How are we gonna be held accountable for working to provide for our family? Everything is not gonna be held against us. We living under the laws of the government of the world. a lot of laws we have. The Bible tells us to obey the laws of the land. Now, some have biblical reasons not to obey the laws of the land. That's your prerogative. But if we have to provide for our families, we have to work. Many people have to travel, work jobs that cause them to work weekend, work holidays, work around year round. You're going to condemn all these people to hell because they have to work? That don't make no sense. God said how he know what's going to be held against us and what's not. You don't sin. A holy man don't practice sin nowadays of the week. Ain't no one day sanctified. That's what they want. Well, so you mean tell me you're going to live holy on Sunday and not do nothing, but the other 6 days you what? You free to sin? You free to do whatever you want to do? This is the way they try to put stuff out there. They call New Testament a lie. Some outright call it a lie. Some would try to debunk the scripture like I just showed y'all. Avoid the Hebrew Israelites. Them cats just plain empty-headed. They bishop, Nathaniel, empty-headed. These guys be reading the Bible, reading the scriptures, and still be calling the scriptures a lie because they don't have spiritual insight. They can't move forward. They don't search the scripture to try to see what's right. This guy outright called this scripture a lie concerning not working. Well, Paul, he tried to put it on Paul. Well, Paul. That's what they do. Pastor Dow do that too. You'll preach Paul, but then you'll turn around and condemn Paul. That's what the Hebrew Israelites do. That's what that guy was doing. They preach Paul, then they turn around and slam Paul. You give him credit, then you turn around and take credit away, and then just say he didn't have to understand. The song just say he wasn't a God. Paul was a Hebrew Israelite himself. a lot of them don't even know that. Paul was a Hebrew Israelite. Ask them guys down the street, see what they know. They don't know. Paul was a Hebrew Israelite. From the Sanhedrin tribe. The Sanhedrins.